Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Tammy Talk. I'm going to wait till a few people come on. But we have a good show for you on today. A beautiful show today. I have a wonderful guest, and I'm sure you all are going to enjoy her. We're going to bring her in just a minute. But I want to wait a few minutes so the people, some of my audience come in and to hear the show on today. We're just so glad to be in your company again. I'm so glad for the faithful people that tune in to the Tammy Talk Show. I want you to know that you mean a lot to me. And I thank you so much for coming in and listening to the topics and the subjects and hearing some of the people, my guests that I bring on. You're hearing some of their stories. I'm so glad that you are interested and looking and watching and hearing some of the experiences that they have gone through and some of the challenges that they have gone through to let you know that you can make it through the different stages of life that you're going through. So I would just like for you to just tune in and listen to the show and just enjoy what we have for you on today. If I could get you to just hold on for a few minutes, we got a little technical difficulties here, but we want you all to just tune in and enjoy. It's a beautiful topic that we have on today. And just stay tuned and enjoy everything that is going to be said. And I got this guest here today. She's a wonderful woman. You know, I've known her for a long time. And I'm going to wait a few minutes till this technical problem gets straightened out right here. Okay, she's coming in. I'm going to have to fire some of my technical people and rehire somebody else, you know. I'm so glad you come on in and talking with me. I know there's things that the people will love and is going to enjoy hearing coming from you today. We ran into a problem. We got it all straightened out. I can see you on the hear you.
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I just want to make sure the audience be able to also. Just a little low. You turn the volume so they can hear you.
Is that better?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I have with me today Dr. Patricia, a phenomenal which have a beautiful story. I'll say not beautiful journey that she was on her way to her success. So I want you all to just tonight. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to question on Facebook. I read questions and we'll try to share. Any question that you have in answering. But I want you all to just enjoy the time. I thank you for coming on. Waiting for a few more people to come on. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes. I see them tuning in. This will be a conversation, and she will have a lot of information that some of you will be interested in having. So I'm glad you're here, and I want to start off the conversation with my first question on tonight. Dr. Smith, can you share with us a little bit of your background as you begin to start out with your journey? Just share a little bit of your background with us.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first of all, I want to thank you for having me on your show tonight and giving me an opportunity to share my journey.
Yeah.
Anytime I have an opportunity to encourage others, I definitely like to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But in sharing my journey, I have to first of all give honor to God.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for God.
Yeah.
I have to really give all the praise to Him.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about my journey, I have to first start by talking about my mom and dad.
Yes.
I was raised in a home with two parents that really loved us.
Uh-huh.
They showed us the value of family. They showed us, I just think about my dad, he showed us what it meant to be a man taking care of his family.
Yeah.
My mom showed us what it meant to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think what contributed to them being the people that they were
Mm-hmm.
was I think about my dad. He was one of 10 siblings. He was the fourth oldest.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, my mom, she was the oldest of 9 siblings. So, with both of them being born in the 40s, of course, resources were very limited and their opportunities to pursue their education was very limited.
Yeah.
So I think because of their circumstances and their upbringing, that contributed to them really encouraging us to be the people that we were. I was the oldest of 4 sisters, and of course, my parents always told me, "You're the oldest. You have 3 sisters that are watching everything you do. So you need to make sure that you make the best decisions." So just thinking about that, it really encouraged me and pushed me to do the things that I've done in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fast forward to high school. I still remember my senior year of high school. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about going to college, but I didn't want to put that financial burden on my parents
Mm-hmm.
because I thought about, you know, they were trying to raise 4 children, so there was no way I could think of to pay for college.
Right.
So I still remember that there were recruiters coming to the school from the military.
Mm-hmm.
So all branches, and I just decided spur of the moment that I think I want to join the military. So I enlisted in the Air Force Reserves and did really well.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I enlisted in 83, of course. And then I decided once I went through basic training and technical school that I wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
So went to college. I started attending Crandall Junior College. I went for a few months and I dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the first time that I dropped out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really like where I was going. So I was like, you know, I think I'm just going to work a little while, try to reevaluate what I want to do.
Yeah.
I continued in the Air Force Reserves, and I decided to work at Sears. I worked at Sears as a cashier for a few months.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided, okay, I think I want to try this college thing again.
Yeah.
So I applied to college. I applied to Payne College in Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Payne in 85, did okay. And I actually met this guy and who ended up being my daughter's father.
Uh-huh.
So I met him, we dated, and I ended up getting pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So here I was. I thought I was on top of the world, but once I got pregnant, it was like I had to drop out of college. So this is the second time I had to drop out of college. So I dropped out, went back home, and I had to figure out how to navigate life as a college dropout and as a single mother.
All right.
And, you know, I moved back, of course, went back home with my parents. And I still remember like it was yesterday. I fell into this really deep depression because I was so disappointed in myself.
Uh-huh.
I felt like I had disappointed what my parents had taught me,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just really down on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this particular day, I was sitting at home and I was in the dark, just kind of staring in space. And I was just really depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I still remember my mom, she told me, she said, okay, I've watched you do this long enough. I'm tired of you walking around here having a pity party. I need you to figure out what you're going to do with the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was something about that moment
Wow.
that really caused me to step back and evaluate, okay, well, what am I going to
Mm-hmm.
do? I was still in the reserves trying to raise my daughter, but that's it. So I went and I applied for a job. Started working at Lee's restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I also started working at Crystal. So I was a single parent working at two restaurants, just trying to do what I needed to do.
Right.
And I did this for about a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really started to look at, okay, so what am I going to do with the rest of my life?
Wow.
And there was this program when I was in the reserves where it gave me an opportunity to work full time in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So I resigned from my jobs at the restaurant, worked on base for about a year and a half. And around this time, I decided, okay, I'm tired of doing this. I want to get something a little more stable.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I applied to work for the state.
Yeah.
I started working for the state in 92. So I was working for the state of Georgia. I was still in the reserves. I was a single parent,
Mm-hmm.
continuing to work. And I said, okay, now it's time to get the college thing going again.
Yeah.
After dropping out of college 2 times, I decided, okay, I'm going to enroll in college and I'm going to stick with it this time.
Yeah.
So I enrolled at Macon State. I started on my associate's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got the associate's degree, I went ahead and applied to Georgia College.
Right.
Went to Georgia College and I received my bachelor's degree. But the year before that, I actually got pregnant with my son.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am, single mother, 2 children, still trying to, I'm watching, I'm still, I'm working
Yeah.
in the reserves, and now I've got to figure out life with 2 children.
Yeah.
Also in 97, I forgot to mention this.
Mm-hmm.
I was 31 years old, living at home with my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided that I was ready to move out.
Yeah.
Um, and in the process of being ready to move out, I actually applied for an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for the apartment, and one of my military buddies asked me, had I ever thought about buying a house?
Yeah.
And I said, well, no, I hadn't. But,
Mm-hmm.
and I told him, I said, I really didn't think I could afford a house.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, you can afford one. He said, I tell you what we will do. We'll run your credit. We'll tell you what you qualify for. And then we can help you go through the process of getting a house. Long story short, I was approved for the apartment and I was approved for a house.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I chose the house and I was able to buy my house at 31.
Wow.
So
Beautiful.
thank God I was able to complete my bachelor's degree. I decided once I had my son to wait until he was ready to go to school and I would pursue my master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
I completed my master's in 2004.
Wow.
Around this time, I also decided that I really wanted to look at, so what do I want to do with the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
I continued in the military. I continued to work for the state, continued as a single parent for a few years. And then I decided around 2011 that I was ready to retire from the military. I retired from the military in 2012, and in 2012, I actually started the journey for my PhD.
Wow.
Um, because the PhD is a major undertaking,
Mm-hmm.
I just decided I would take one class at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm one of those people. It took me from 2012 to 2020
Mm-hmm.
to complete my PhD. I just took one class at a time.
Right.
And I completed all of the coursework in 2016. And I decided in 2016 that I would go ahead and start on the dissertation. So As of May 2020, I became Dr. Patricia Smith. As of this month, I have actually 29 years with the state.
Wow.
So I am eligible to retire with 30 years from the state next year. So I will say my journey, there has been a lot of stumbling blocks, but I think it was important to stay focused on where I was trying to go.
Yes, and when you got pregnant with the first child, you shared that you didn't even get child support. You didn't understand the time, but still you made it through this, and you maybe had struggles along the way, and the process you took on yourself, and
Yeah.
then you working with them so you can learn to help others. I'd like to share some.
Yes. Um, I actually with my daughter, I had problems receiving child support. I still remember I submitted an application and I it just seems like I couldn't get anywhere.
Mhm.
And so I just decided that maybe I'm not getting child support because I don't understand the process.
Oh,
So I actually applied to work with child support. I started with child support in 1995. And my goal in working with child support was to really understand the process.
mhm.
And I also wanted to be able to educate other people. I felt like if I didn't understand it, there were probably other women out there that needed to get child support. They didn't really understand the process.
Mhm.
And that was part of my reason for starting to work for child support. I actually ended up spending 24 years there. That was a part of my state government career. And one of the other benefits that I learned, though, while working with child support is I had an opportunity to really understand the challenges that fathers go through
Okay.
when dealing with child support. I think prior to becoming a child support employee,
Mhm.
I just made the assumption that men didn't pay child support because they didn't want to.
Okay.
But I had to, one thing I was able to understand is a lot of times it's not that they don't pay because they don't want to. Sometimes they just don't have the resources
Okay.
to pay child support, or they may not be, may not work, may not make enough
That's
money,
right.
or sometimes child support can be set so high that there's no way that they can afford to pay it.
Okay.
So, ironically, when I wrote my dissertation, I actually decided that it was important to give those fathers a voice.
Yeah.
So, I actually wrote my dissertation on the struggles that fathers have in paying their child support.
Wow.
I thought it was important to look at some of the things that can contribute to them not being self sufficient, things as far as having a criminal background. I thought it was important for their story to be told.
Yeah.
So, in presenting my dissertation, my research, that's exactly what I did it on.
Wow. That is beautiful. Because a lot
Thank
of
you.
times when young women and young girls have kids, I think that men just don't want to pay child support, but they
Yeah.
have struggles too. And they have financial problems just like they have this financial. But I'm so glad you shed some light, even with young people to get on child support, or if the young man to get in there, learn how to pay child support, and the young girl is trying to get support. Tell some of the problems they will run because when they started, when they get to those problems, that's when they fall away from it. They don't try to maintain the child, care of the child.
Mm-hmm. So you want me? I'm cutting in and out. You said tell you some of the problems
Yeah,
that the mothers.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Run into, but vice versa. they're trying to get, and then some of those need it done. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I think for the mothers, when there some of the problems that they can run into when trying to get child support is if they don't have good contact information for the father, that's going to create a problem because the child support agency will need to know how to get in touch with the non-custodial father so that they can put them under a child support order. So I think it's important if a young lady needs to collect child support, it's important for her to bring as much information that she knows on the father as possible.
Yeah.
If she knows where he works, she knows his address, she knows any places where he may hang out, she knows any pictures. I mean, she has any pictures, any tattoos, any, the more information that a mother can bring when trying to pursue child support, the more likely she will be able to get support.
Okay.
And when thinking about a father, if a father is contacted by the Office of Child Support and he's advised that he needs to pay child support, it's important for them to make sure that if they don't have the resources to pay child support, there are programs in place like the fatherhood program that will actually help them with obtaining employment. If they don't have the education that's needed, say they may have a GED, or they don't really have the skills to get sufficient employment, it's important for them to find out about the fatherhood programs that are available. And those programs are in place to help those fathers become self-sufficient. Because a lot of times I think what happens is fathers hear that they have a child support case and they probably try to avoid it because it may appear that the system is there to drop the hammer on them. If they don't pay, then they're automatically going to jail. But it's important to talk to the child support office just to explain what's going on in your situation.
Yeah.
And they may be able to provide some guidance to you. If you're having problems, say you're running into an issue with your license getting suspended, it's important to talk to the child support office so that they can provide to you the resources that's available. Because ultimately, the ultimate goal for child support is to help the child. It's not so much that it's there for the mother or that it's there so much for the father, but it's really about the child. What's best for the child?
Right.
And if that's to get the father self-sufficient, if that's to get the mother the resources that's needed, that's the mission of child support.
Right. Well, what can you say to the mothers? Don't allow father to see the child and their paying child. And
I think. Okay, go ahead.
you know, maybe the mother met with the father or problem with the father, but if he's paying child support to see his child and he's in good standing with the law and everything, in order to see the child, why is it difficult for him? And what could he do?
I know there's this program called Access and Visitation, and it's important to. I know here in Georgia, there are several contract agencies that work with the child support agency. So if a father is running into problems with being able to see their child, they should reach out to their local child support office and call to find out who are the access and visitation resources that's available in their area. And the ultimate goal of that access and visitation office is to they serve as like a mediator between the mother and the father so that they can try to establish visitation rights. I think if you have a situation where a father is really trying to see their child and they're not able to, reach out and see what resources are available around access and visitation. And that's their ultimate mission, to really try to bring. Sometimes I know it's not going to be possible to reunify the family, but if you can at least get a situation going where the father can start to see their child on a regular basis. That would be good. And sometimes, if nothing else, but that child having the ability to see their father, sometimes that can make the situation a little bit better.
Yes. And a lot of times, parents don't understand. Make it better for you know.
Yeah.
No parent. And I'm so glad that with us, a lot of young men, women need to hear that, know what they have to get through to cause that to happen and to bring the family together. It's not be the same house or what, but it is a family that maybe they have right in the middle of it. So that's a, I know a lot of fathers wants to see the and they doing the right by care and on the child support. What you just mentioned right there, what the next day, get started, right? So that's a good. Even with your, you know, each stage went through, and I know that some things that was difficult. Maybe there's a young girl out there. You might be feeling this day, or feeling down because certain things have happened. Maybe something similar to what you have gone through and persevered through it. What would you encourage today? Or what words would you say to the person? Maybe a young man dropped out of college, becoming a father, he got a job. What can you say to the person today?
I would say never give up on yourself. If you, regardless of what it is that you're trying to accomplish, be willing to always set short term and long term goals. Let's just say if you decide that you want to pursue your education and you don't have the resources, you can't figure out how to pay for it.
Yeah.
There's all types of scholarships that are available out there. You may want to look at the military. The military provides resources to you to be able to go to college. It's important to, I think my favorite thing to say is, as long as you're living, as long as you're breathing, there's an opportunity. Right. If it don't happen today, tomorrow is coming. So never give up on yourself. Set short-term goals, long-term goals for yourself, and just continue to do the things that you need to help you be successful. If you try one way and it doesn't work, try something else. Yeah. Don't feel like, if I always say, if you can't get what you want by going through one path, try a different one. Yeah. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. I just got an alert that I'm going in and out.
Okay. I'm trying to see, do I have questions? I can't see from up there. A little way off. So I'm going to have to try to find my iPad here. Let's see. Is there anybody that... Oh, I hear one of the young ladies echo. It's an echo.
Okay.
In the sound. Okay. We are sorry. I think the internet has a little bit to do with it. But I hear that Patricia is very clear. I mean, Dr. Smith is very clear. So that's a good. Let me see if we have a question. Okay. Yeah. Your daughter is saying that it might put your earpiece. Okay. Love you, man. Thank you, girl.
Okay, I have my earpiece in now.
Do we have anybody out there? You have a question for Dr. Smith? Do you? and I'm sure she's capable and able to answer your questions on today. If you have anything concerning the jobs that she have been in, college questions, or where to sign, different. I heard her saying something about there are scholarships out there and all that. If you want to go to college, look into that area to see what scholarship you can take up. And I do want to tell you that I have always admired you. I have always admired how you balance yourself. I never saw you off the grid. I always seen you intelligent, walking with your head up and your daughter looking beautiful. And that's my baby. I tell you, she is just so, just to look at your kids, I know you poured great things into your children's life. You didn't hold nothing back. And then to see your grandbabies, they all just so beautiful. And I would see the pictures that you all was on. It was just like when they was around you, it was like they were just eating a piece of candy when they would be kissing you on the cheek. I said, "Oh, I know she's a sweet grandmother," but I saw how beautiful
Oh,
you did and how skillful you were. And I was looking at the education of your daughter, the field that she's working in, and your son graduating with honors and all. I said, God, so you poured some good things into your children. So what was the thing you set before them that they gravitated to and make them be the successful young man and young woman that they are today?
I think they saw my hustle.
Hmm.
They saw my drive.
Hmm.
They saw me. There were times when, when I reflect back on working on my PhD, there were times when they would see me up till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Hmm.
I would stay up and I may go to work during the day, come home at night, work late hours to make sure that I did the things that I needed to do. And I would still get up the next day, go to work, do it again. So they saw me as a person that didn't give up.
Hmm.
They sometimes I shared things that I went through, negative things. Sometimes I didn't,
Hmm.
but they never saw me as a person that complained about what was going on in my life.
Right.
They always saw me pushing, and I didn't allow them to give up. I still remember when my son was in high school. I told him, I said, your job is to get good grades. And I actually used to pay him for his grades.
Hmm.
For every A, I paid him his age, and for B's, he only got 50 cents.
Uh,
So, and the reason for doing that is I told him, you can't be mediocre. You're a black man. I'm raising you in a world where it can be challenging for black men. So the standard has to be high. I want you to go above and
mhm.
beyond because no one will ever have a reason to look down on you. So I really pushed them to be the best that they could be. And I told them, I said, you're in constant competition with yourself. So that means you need to be better than you were yesterday.
So,
What did you do last year? What did you do the week before? You need to exceed that. And as long as you're doing that, you will be successful in life.
I have a question on here from a young lady. Um,
Okay?
Rita, she's saying, what helped you to get through those moments when it felt like there wasn't light at the end of the tunnel? What was the?
Prayer, prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I had to pray, pray, pray. And sometimes I cried. And I have to say I had to pray. And then there were times when I talked about my mom. My mom is such an amazing
Yes,
woman.
she is.
I would sometimes go over there, and because I would have moments, and I would just lay it all on mama. And if I needed to cry, I would cry, but I would pray and I would talk about it. I think a lot of times what hurts us as women is sometimes we don't want people to see us be weak. If you need to cry, if you need to just take a break and, walk away from it and then come back to it, do it.
Yeah.
But you gotta. I think also the fact that I had two people watching everything I was doing,
Right.
Geisha and Jeremy. I couldn't give up because of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to continue to push and persevere and try it again.
Yes.
So, and I think just knowing that I never wanted them to see me as a failure.
Right.
I never wanted them to see me as someone that gave up.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted them to see me as a strong woman.
Right.
And it's like I said, sometimes when I wanted to give up, and I could have easily given up, but I had to think about, so if I give up, where are they going to be?
Right. Right.
So,
Wow. Beautiful. And Dr. Patricia Smith can also sing. Oh my God, she has a beautiful voice. Yes,
thank
do.
you.
I mean, when she sings, she bring down the house. And you would look at her and say, "Oh, she look like no." Oh, don't. She can sing. I'm right. She can sing.
Thank you.
Just go ahead and sing like that. Beautiful voice. But I'm so glad you shared your story with us on today. I'm sure you have helped a lot of young people, a lot of young women, because a lot of times, like you said, young women, we don't want people to see us cry, or we want to look like we're strong all the time. But if you got that safe place that you can go to, or that safe person you could go to and just cry to, and let them pour back into you, and then after you regain your strength, you get back up there, and then you're ready to fight again. So I see
Yeah.
that your mom was that person for you that you can go to, and she can pour back into you, and then you got ready to fight again. So okay, I could take on the world again because my mom that gave me that love that I know is not doctored. I know it's not phony. It's the real deal.
Yeah.
So now I can move on and keep on pushing toward my purpose. I'm just glad
Mhm.
that you was a determined young lady and said, I'm going to make this thing happen for my life so I can leave and show an example to my children or show an example to other people. Because a
Mhm.
lot of times we don't know who's watching us. We think just only the ones that just right around us, like our children, somebody in the household is watching us, but you don't know how many people have been watching you. Just looking at
Yeah.
Facebook right now and seeing some of the comments that I'm seeing on here, there was so many people that was watching you. And like I told you
Yeah.
earlier, I take my hat off to you because I always have watched how you did things. I
Yeah.
may not
Thank
didn't
you.
I didn't tell you at the time, but I'm telling you right now. I was watching and I was admiring what you was doing and how you was navigating and how you was successful in the goals that you had set before yourself. You did not
Yeah.
stop. You kept going. And a lot of
Yeah.
us we stop. We stop when perseverance come up. We stop when a road get bumpy in the road or when we get at a crossroad, we'll stop. But I'm so glad you kept going. You kept pushing
Mhm.
and you shared your story today to somebody that may have been listening and they may have
Yeah.
felt like giving up. Dr. Patricia Smith has poured into your ear on today. And I'm sure you feel like, man, I know I can go the next mile. I can go 10 more miles down the road. I can set some short-term goals right now so I can get to my long-term goal. So I don't have to stop
Yeah.
right here. This is what I can do to navigate to my purpose. I am so glad you shared your story on today. I'm glad that you wasn't afraid to open up and let the people know this is how it's done. This is what you need to do. Do I have another question on here? Let me see. I think I have another question on here. Scholarships. Where is that one at? Who's the one asking about scholarships? Who? Oh, Felicia Smith. Okay, Felicia want to know where to search for the scholarships.
It's plenty of places. If you go to Google and type in scholarships, it will bring up a ton of them.
Hmm.
But one of the places that I've recently found out is anthonyoneal.com. He is a personality that works with Dave Ramsey.
Mhm.
So if you go to anthonyoneal.com, he actually has several different types of scholarships that are available.
Oh,
There are scholarships based on the fields that you want to go into.
mhm.
There are scholarships based on, there's for females. There's scholarships for if you're black.
Oh,
There's scholarships if your parents never went to college. There's all types of scholarships. So start with just doing scholarships, Googling that, and going to anthonyoneal.com.
okay.
Go to his website, and he has tons of scholarships that are available.
Great, great. Anthony O'Neill. Okay, write that down for me. Scholarships. Okay, in case some of the young people come on and later on I might come into my message box and ask again, I'll be able to give them that information. So that's
Okay.
good. So people, if you're interested in going to college and finding out more information, just look up those scholarships because it will help you pay for your education. Education is good. I'll tell anybody. I saw how you did it, and your sisters did it. So when I moved back to Georgia from New York and I came back, me and the kids, they started college and one was already in college transferring here and I started college with my kids on
Yeah, that's
together
good.
and I was challenging them. I said, if you get an A, I give you this out of my paycheck this week. If I get an A, you got to give me. So we was
Yep.
making challenges, about doing it. And I'm so glad that I went to
Mhm.
school because I was terrified. I
Yeah.
tell any,
Yeah.
at my age, I was terrified to go back to school. I said, no, too old and I done raised my kids. But as soon as I walked in that building, I was a little nervous. I sat at that desk and I sat at the computer. And when I sat at the computer, I think sweat came from everywhere on me because I didn't know the
Yeah.
computer that well. In my
Mhm.
ministry, I had people that would do it for me. So I'm sitting there like, oh God, what am I doing? But that teacher that was assigned to me, she said, oh, we're not quitters. She
Yeah.
said, "Oh, we're gonna succeed. You gonna pass this class. You're gonna get your degree, and you're gonna go into a career." I'm so
Mhm.
grateful that she was there to tell me that. And I went on and got my degree, and I'm not stopping here. I'm going a little further.
Yeah.
I'm looking for my doctor's degree. I'm gonna get mine. You
Yeah.
inspired me. Yes, yes, you inspired me so well to go
Yeah.
ahead and get my degree because you said you took a class at a time, and some people
I
I
did.
got to take 4 or 5 classes. I'll tell
Mm-mm.
you, when I first started, I took 4 classes. It was
Whew.
so, but by the grace of God, I passed the
Yes.
classes. When I
Yeah.
got down to the last one, I took 2 classes, and I
Mhm.
aced those. And I said, man, I should have done that from the beginning. I aced
Yeah.
them because it wasn't so much and all this work I had to do. So now I'm learning my doctors. I'm gonna take a class at a time. I'm
Yeah. And let it take as long as it needs to.
Yeah, yeah. So you inspired me today, and I want the people that are out there to just be inspired. Go ahead and make it happen. I hear somebody was asking a question on here about stock. Advice
Okay.
stock. Okay. Do you have any advice about stock?
Well, I invest. I use Robinhood.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the places that I invest with. I actually have a 401k. I do that through my job, a 401k and a 457. But um, I follow Dave Ramsey. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Dave Ramsey. He is a financial expert that teaches you about the 7 baby steps to getting out of debt.
Okay.
So Dave Ramsey actually provides information on that. And then if you want to know about investing, Chris Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
that's CHRIS Hogan.
Okay.
Go to chrishogan.com. He's a Dave Ramsey personality. And he has several YouTube videos out there. Dave Ramsey does too.
Okay.
So if you want to learn any other information about stock, I would say definitely follow Chris Hogan and then, of course, Dave Ramsey. And like I said, he teaches you about getting out of
Oh,
debt as well.
beautiful, beautiful. Ooh, good question, good answer. Thank you. That's very informational. Okay, let me see. I think I have another question on here. Okay, Jalen has a question. How
Okay.
have social service programs like DCS been affected by the pandemic?
Um, Well, the way those programs have been affected is, I think probably the biggest impact has been that the staff are working from home. But when you think about like DCSS, that would be
Mm-hmm.
child support is still being collected. They are still able to work their cases. They are still able to send correspondences out to the non-custodial parents. So the biggest impact has really been that the staff are working from home. They are still able to do the jobs that they were doing before.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And I have another question here also. What is
Okay.
the importance of networking in your field and other fields?
I think it's important to network because it gives you an opportunity to talk to people that are already doing what you're trying to
Okay.
do. And as an example, I didn't recognize the importance of LinkedIn until I really started networking. I actually started networking with people that were already PhDs before I got mine.
Okay.
I started networking with people that had been teaching, people that had been consulting, had been researching by actually going on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I started with Facebook. I have a lot of personal friends, but I also have friends that I have never met before.
Right.
And I started doing searches on Facebook for people and groups that were doing some things that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
With my PhD, I'm definitely teaching online at higher education.
Wow.
So to find out about some of the different things I needed to know about it, it was important to network.
Yeah.
I did that on social media through, like I said, Facebook and LinkedIn. And as a matter of fact, on LinkedIn, because I've done a lot of networking, I'm actually friends with a lot of college presidents, a lot of chief academic officers, only because I set up a profile on LinkedIn. So depending on what it is you want to do in life, networking is critical to that. There may not be somebody that has done exactly what you want to do, but somebody has done something similar to it. If you have a goal of opening up a business,
Yes.
go out there and find out about businesses for first time people that's starting into this for the first time. Go out there and do research on social media to look up business owners, look up small business administration, look up just anything that's similar to the things that you want to do. And you can even do the same thing on LinkedIn. And I think it's important to network because you start learning the language. There may
Right.
be different resources available, and you can find that out through networking.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful question there. I enjoy that one. Yes. I'm sure a lot of people caught that information. And hopefully, you all that are listening, you wrote down the information that Dr. Smith was saying, so you can connect with people or get the scholarships going. This has been very great. This is good conversation here. I'm enjoying
Thank
the
you.
conversation because you giving out information that's gonna help a lot of people and to help direct them in the path that they want to go. And
Hmm.
I thank you so much for sharing this information because what is information if you can't share the information? You
Yeah,
all
that's right.
share it today, and that just goes to show just another part of who you are. You just
Yeah.
have such a great character about you that you want to help others and deviate their lives and help them to get into the direction where they'll be satisfied and successful in life. And that's what
Yeah.
our goal is, to be satisfied
Mm-hmm.
and successful and to do the things that we love doing in life. That's
Yeah.
the big part
Yeah.
about life. I thank you so much, Dr. Smith, for coming
You're
on.
welcome.
I'm sure that my listening audience gonna be buzzing for you to come back on to share some more information with us. And I invite you back at any time to come back
Okay.
and share some more information. Like you said, that you do some online classes now to help us.
Yes, I'm.
Yeah.
Yes,
And if anybody,
I'm
go
actually.
ahead.
I don't. I'm actually a mentor with Epic Learning Team.
Okay.
So if you want to look it up, epiclearningteam.com. I'm actually on that website. And you can actually sign up for some mentoring time, or if you want to inbox me on
Yeah.
Facebook, please do. And I don't mind sharing information with you. If you go through the website, there is a charge for it.
Yeah.
But if please feel free to go out there and see all of the resources that are available. Because I feel like, it's important to
Yeah.
share information. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And I didn't get where I am, just being out here on my own. Someone had to mentor me.
Yeah.
So I don't mind mentoring others if it's going to help them to be successful.
Yes. I love it. I love
Thank you.
you, and I thank you for coming on with us on today.
You're
I'm
welcome.
sure my audience enjoyed you and enjoyed everything that you had to say on today. I feel like everybody was hanging on every word that you were saying. They was gleaning from you and writing
Yeah.
down the information. I'm sure that you're gonna get good feedback concerning,
Yeah.
everything inboxing you and people going to want information. I'm just so glad that Dr. Smith, that you came on and shared your
You're welcome.
us and you don't mind sharing what you know with others, pouring into someone
Yeah.
else's life. I thank you so much, and I
You're
hopefully
welcome.
down the road, not too long from now, I can get you back on here to share some more information to our young people and to the adults
Yeah.
that feel like they're of age and can't get nowhere, or don't want to turn a corner or at a crossroad. You can help them cross the road. You can help them
Yeah.
to deviate and go on down where they need to go to be successful. So I thank you on today. I
You're
really
welcome.
enjoyed you, and I know the audience enjoyed you. I just like for you all to like this page, like it, share it. Please share it. Don't hold all the information to yourself. Just share the page, share it. Because the more people reach out, the more people hear it, it's the better off we all would be. I thank you
Yeah.
again, Dr. Smith. Don't
You're
hesitate to
welcome.
come back on. If there's anything you want to
Okay.
share with the people, just let me know, and we'll
Okay.
get you right back on it. I thank you. Thank
Okay. You're
I
welcome.
thank you. And I love you much.
Love you
See you
too.
again next time. God bless. Love you.
God bless you. Love you too. Bye.